Will you stop already with your incessant need to be right? Think what it's costing you. Right? It's never about who's right. It's always about what's right. But some of you have this insatiable desire to be right all the time. But usually that feeling is attached to ego and insecurities. And think about it. Think what it's costing you. Think of the toll it's taking and making on your relationships and on you, right? The stress and the mental emotional trauma and the fights that it leads to, and the arguments and the slamming of doors and running out and hurt feelings and then apologies and trying to forgive and then trying to fix something that would have been totally prevented if you just didn't have this insatiable, incessant drive to be right all the time. What is it? And it might be different for some people, but what is it for you? What is it that is just making you want to or need to be right? What's so bad with being wrong? Does that feel somehow threatening to you? Is it somehow hurt your ego or your image? Is it too closely tied to your perceived value of self-worth and your identity? Like if you're wrong about something, if you're having, and I've seen this. I've been able to work with people across 5 continents for 2 decades, right? So I see this all the time. I see it in youth, see it in adults, and unless you proactively address it, this problem just perpetuates through life, and it shows up in marriage and parenting, it shows up in friendships, it shows up in random conversations with strangers, and man, does it show up on social media or YouTube videos in the comments sections or wherever, where people just think they have a voice and they gotta be right. Why do you feel like you need to be right? Can you be wrong? Could you go into a conversation? Luckily, I learned this when I was 17, you guys. I had like 0 social skills, and somebody gave me a copy of the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I guess they figured I needed it, and I did, right? And I read that excellent book by Dale Carnegie, and he says in there, he said one of the key principles, I remember this, it just hit me so forcefully, and it took took a little bit, humility to just swallow this one. And he says, whenever you're making a point, and it might be sensitive and there might be people disagreeing, he says, start your sentence like this. He says, I might be wrong because I often am, but here's what I think, right? What a wonderful way to start a conversation, especially if it's charged emotionally, like current events that are happening right now, or political things, or religious things, or things around money or sex, or kind of those taboo subjects, like, oh boy, this is going to get hot. Or if somebody in the group, they have to be right too. I mean, what could be worse than 2 or 3 people in a group that all have this deep need and incessant desire to be right? Oh my goodness. Nobody's going to listen. Nobody's going to understand. Nobody's going to learn and progress and improve, because all they're concerned about is being right. So, my friend, be willing to be wrong. Yeah. Be willing to be wrong. There's nothing, so what? Life is just this huge experiment. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to figure it out. But one thing I have learned that I know for sure is an insatiable drive to be right is not good for our relationships. And those are far more important than being right. And so we circle back to consistently look for ways and focus on what is right, not who is right. Now, I hear your voices in my head going, but Greg, what if they're wrong? What if they are just wrong? I have to set them straight, right? And some of you have this drive I got to tell them the truth. I got to tell them the way things are. I've got to correct them. And so if if you genuinely, with like love and caring concern and genuine interest in their well-being and welfare, if you want to be right because it's tied to your ego or it's tied to your insecurities, like just drop it, let it go. People are wrong every day, man. You're probably wrong every day. I'm probably wrong on things every day, right? Like you go through life and you're not always right, and that's okay. But if you genuinely really are concerned and you want to share it, learn how to do it with tons of diplomacy and tact, right? Have you ever watched a speaker or a teacher do that, where somebody disagrees and they just so tactfully, so gently, you never want to make them look bad. You never want to make them even feel bad. You never want to tear them down, especially in front of other people. If people are afraid of being torn down or made to look foolish or ridiculous or stupid in front of others, even if they know they are wrong, they will fight and defend and do anything to try to be right to save face. So don't do that. That's disrespectful. Kind of low, right? So just do it tactfully. Use a ton of diplomacy and respect and kindness and say, okay, that's interesting. And listen to their view and consider it. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I thought about that, or I hadn't thought about it that way. That's interesting. Here's what I think right now from what I've learned, and from what I'm seeing, and I'm sure I'm gonna learn some more things about this. I might discover some more things as time goes by, and I learn more things and have more conversations and kind of see this at different angles. But here's what I'm thinking. I might be wrong, but this is what I feel. And even if on this one, I actually feel pretty strongly. I've thought around it as much as I can. I've really paid a price in study. I feel pretty strongly that this is the right approach, but this is what I'm thinking. Right? See how gentle that is? See how soft that is? See how that leaves it open for them to save face and to not do that? And again, most importantly, this is for relationships. Again, with strangers, you don't have to do this online. You don't have to do it on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. You don't have to do this with any community or any class or group or whatever. You can be tactful about it. You can be kind. You can let go of this who's right and your need to be right. But most importantly, I want to invite you to do this in your marriage and in your family relationships and with your friends and with your parenting. And I see parents and kids get into these battles trying so hard to be right. And if your kids have this insane desire to be right, this need to be right, I wonder where they might have picked that up from. And I wonder if sometimes we as parents will pass along our ego and our insecurity. I know, so I have some friends and family that I saw that. It was so evident, just plain as day, that the dad's need to be right was deeply attached to his ego and his insecurities. And I had worked with him and talked to him about it. And then I met his teenage son. And the son did the exact same thing. He had learned that behavior and picked up that same need with the same kind of ego and the same kind of insecurities, picked it up from his dad and was doing the exact same thing. And then I learned about it came from his parents, right? It's just generational getting passed down. So be the one that stops it. Just decide. Decide before you talk to your spouse, before you talk to your kids, before you get online, before you have conversations, especially if you know you're going to talk about topics, or if you even love getting into talk. You might like debating. You might love talking about politics or sports or religion or whatever kind of thing you're there. And if you love doing that, learn how to do it with tact and diplomacy so that people like you. And sometimes some of us might get this kind of distorted thing that if I'm right, people will like me and people will respect me. It's actually probably not true. If you're nice, if you're kind, if you're considerate, if you're tactful, if you're willing to listen and consider other things, you're far more likely to be liked and admired and respected. So let go of the need to be right. Be totally willing to be wrong because you're just going through life trying to figure things out. And you may move along down the path of life further and look back and be like, whew, man, I was dead wrong about that. Like, yep, there it is. It's okay. Make mistakes. Fail forward. And share things in that perspective. Say, hey, this might be wrong. I might be mistaken here. From the limited information I have, this is what I think. And let go of the ego. Let go of the pride and the hubris and the deep just disconnect it from your insecurities and have some confidence in yourself, because that truly is a mark of a genuinely confident person, if they're willing to be wrong. But it gets twisted and distorted to think, well, no, I'm only really confident if I know I'm right and I can prove other people wrong. But it's almost like adult immaturity, right? So let's be wrong sometimes. Let's consider our ways, consider the angles, look at the big, broad perspective of life and humanity and all the different angles and ways to see things, and let go of that insatiable desire, that need that we've created here and here to be right, and watch, oh my goodness, watch how it can totally transform the quality of your relationships and really bring back spark and romance and love and connection. I'm guessing a lot of you have burnt some bridges and broken some relationships and really hurt some feelings. And it might not be obvious, but it might have just, maybe your marriage just kind of flattened out. Maybe some of your friendships have flattened out. Maybe your connection to your kids just kind of flattened out, and there's no real spark and life inside that relationship anymore. And maybe it was never even articulated, but they're just sitting there saying, I'm so sick of that. He or she always feels like they have to be right. Like, I'm just done. I'm done with that, right? And that will play out. So make a shift. Just decide right here, decide before you get into a conversation. Say, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to have to be right. I don't have to be right. I can go in, I can learn, I can participate, I can listen. I don't have to be right. And it'll have a huge effect on your relationships in your life and your relationship with yourself. It's awesome. Love you guys. Reach upward.